I stream. This is totally not me getting back in VR, literally just to have a conversation that I wanted to have before I left. But we're just saying that Brennan couldn't sleep. Brennan changed, woke up, walked back out. Um, yeah, it's total. Everything's fine. We're great. Yupper. There's someone that I wanted to talk to today.
After they got to where all that scene
Who
was,
I'm gonna get to talk to
they
now.
realized what was gonna happen, and they kept running.
It's honestly a
Make sure no one got hurt.
topic. It's just
Or in the blast.
one I have to kind of live, you know.
Oh,
It's not really something that I would
looking in sad boy hours.
be informed on, unfortunately.
It's a unique situation, but yeah, we're making the best of it. Brennan, how are
Hi.
you?
Okay.
Hey, Brennan.
Hi, Eugene. Hi again, Kyle.
Hello. I couldn't find you.
I couldn't. Well, I went from one meeting to being here, and then I didn't know if you were here. But here I am.
Today's been a day of meetings for sure. Hello, Amaka.
Yeah.
Kyle wants to talk to you about something.
Oh my god.
Hi. Hello. Did you just get jump scared by Amaka?
I did. You wanna go talk?
Sorry, I tend to do that.
It's okay.
Sure.
Ow.
Yeah, bud. You gotta go lower.
It's bad for my back.
Not so tall.
I'm tall. My back, all the weight of my body makes my back hurt all the time. Just do what I do and liquefy your horns and your antlers when you walk through a doorway, so it just slides right through.
That works.
Doesn't Amaka know
That's
that you should
not a bad
actually
idea,
bend your
actually.
legs and not your back?
Kyle,
You know,
hi.
that would be good advice for them.
Greetings. Good to see you.
I mean, he like squatted, but he also, I think he's just so tall.
Maybe a combat role. That might be cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you, is here good? You want to talk here?
Sure.
What the fuck is this? Why did this follow us? Why did this follow you? I don't know how to
Anything has
cast.
anything to do with me.
No, I don't know how to cast Private Sanctum. But
That's fine. There's not much I talk about this private. Goodbye, magic helmet.
oh, there it goes. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get to you earlier. And that I've just been kind of a little bit of everywhere.
It's fine. We had a rough day.
Yeah.
But no, we're doing good. We're fine.
Well, you at least you know, got Nurgle now, you know,
In plushy form.
in
yeah.
plushie form, yeah. I wanted to tell you, Timothy is not dead. You didn't lose another friend. Timothy, Death Dog, that's their proper name, is Death Dog. They tell you their name is Timothy. Why? I don't know. But they're not actually dead. He's just being a dick. He's being an asshole, saying that, tell Eugene I'm dead, because he wants to stir things up. He thinks it would be funny for you to break the contract on his behalf. So anyone that talks to them is breaking the contract. If you do that, you could be removed from the Seekers, taken out of bad company. you could be imprisoned or even be sentenced to die. And Timothy thinks it's funny to tell you he's dead, to cause you emotional harm and make you upset because he doesn't know you and he doesn't care. And that's what makes me angry, is that he doesn't care. You care about Timothy, but all he cares about is like funny ha-has. He thinks it would be funny to see something happen to you, for you to get hurt or kicked out of the Seekers, because that's good for him. But he's not dead. And he intends on when the contract... Huh?
I thought he was my friend.
Well, he is a creation made by some form of other beings who aren't good, but I don't know if they're actually inherently bad either. And either
So he's not
way,
dead.
no, he's not dead. And he fully
But I
intended,
have lost a friend.
unfortunately, that's up to you to decide. He did intend
What?
on telling you when the contract is over that Timothy was fine and alive. But that's still very deceptive, and until that happened, you would have thought that he's dead. And I scolded him for it.
Brennan, what did I do to deserve all this?
I don't know, Eugene, but it's not fair that this happens to you.
When it comes to losing, I'm the strongest there is, I guess.
I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know. I didn't want you to think that he was gone. But, I mean, I think, put it this way. Put this kind of perspective. Yes, you cared about him. You considered him your friend. But if it wasn't two ways in the first place, was he ever really your friend? Is he actually something to lose? You can't lose something you didn't have, but yet again, it's your perception of him. I can't change how you felt.
It's just these days it feels like it's one step forward, it's two steps back.
Yeah.
I just keep struggling, I guess. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
I know, but I just don't want you... I don't want to see you destroy yourself over other people. You know?
It's the other people who's destroyed me. I wanted to be a hero, originally. That was my dream. But when the heroes treated me how they did, And Asmodeus took me in and treated me like a person. Real person. He made me a promise. He said, Eugene, everything you can want will be yours if you follow my plan. When I reset the world, you can live your life with no suffering, no pain, no sadness. And as time went on, and I lost Percy, and I gained Velo, realized the suffering they had endured. As people made me suffer, as I learned of their suffering. Resetting the world is me being a hero. Lord Asmodeus promised a better life. My mother, who's been bedridden for 12 years, can have her life. Philo wouldn't have died. And whenever I tell people about my plan, Lord Asmodeus' plan, they say that the suffering is what makes them them. But would they not trade that? Would they not trade that pain to have their loved ones back? To spend your days in peace, in a life full of love and warmth. But no, they're selfish, and they want to struggle, and they want to lose people, and they want pain, and they want suffering. To you guys, maybe I am a villain, but I got my wish in the end.
What's your wish in the end?
In the end, I will reset the world, and everyone will have their happy ending. Even Lord Asmodeus will be happy. In a life, hundreds of lifetimes that have left him so empty. Because all he wanted was a fair shot this whole time. I'll get my fair shot. And I've said this to people who I care about greatly. And just like you guys in the Seekers, in this reset, in this perfect world, I will come back for you. But I can't do it alone. Now, I know you won't help me, and I know no one here will help me. But I won't lose.
Mm-hmm.
I've spent my whole life losing. And when everything's said and done, and the dust settles, you might not know it, but everyone will thank me. I don't know what tragedies have befallen you in your lifetime. All that pain and all that suffering. If you could trade it in for a fresh start, would you?
Um, yeah, I mean, some of it. Most definitely. There's, not really been a lot of pain in my life that was necessary in order to learn something, so I very much understand what you mean.
I've offered this to many people before, and not one has taken it. You could always join us and watch the sun set on this universe.
And would I have to join with Nurgle? Is that the stipulation here? I have a
Nurgle
D.
is our catalyst.
Yeah. I have a deity already.
You don't need to sell your soul.
What if I help you by proxy? Because I always said the Seekers would come first, as long as I'm a captain. And you are a Seeker. But I understand this is your priority endeavor. And I can't change that, and I can't take that from you. I'm sorry.
It's worth a shot. I
I'm
knew you
s-
wouldn't take it.
I'm sorry, Eugene.
No one ever does. They value the suffering of this life.
I know what this. By not taking your hand, it's not me accepting the suffering. It's me not knowing Nurgle, me not knowing all of the terms and conditions before me. Where there's
No, I get it.
I do agree with you, though.
In the end, you would have to turn on your friends. So I understand.
I mean, anything can happen. I don't think our paths are predetermined. I don't think things happen for a reason. I don't believe in fate. So, anything can change at
I
a drop
bend
of a
fate
hat.
to my own will. I won't lose.
What if I believe in you? What if I don't know Nurgle. So, I don't want to offend them or offend you. But what if I believe in you and not them?
I don't really know what that means, but
Like, because I don't know Nurgle. I don't know them as what they are to you. They're your catalyst. What if I believe in you and your goals? Even though, you're with Nurgle. But, like, I support you. I help you.
even if it means turning on everyone up there,
So I can't do anything that will. And I understand in the end, to end the world, it would hurt. It would end everything. So, as long as the steps that you are taking for the time being don't immediately hurt them. I can support you in your endeavors.
It is acceptable.
I mean, you come to me anyway and ask me for things. So, God, he's writing it down. What is that?
A 6-month contract.
A 6-month a 6-month contract.
Mm-hmm. For 6 months, you will assist me and my allies in ending the world. With the caveat that as long as it doesn't directly harm any of the Seekers, or interfere with the Seekers' goals. And after that 6 months, you're free.
Because by the end of the 6 months, the world would ultimately be over. That's your goal.
If Nurgle doesn't end the world in 6 months, they will perish.
Hmm. And you won't accept just coming to me and asking for my help?
Is it not the same thing?
This would mean that I can't tell you no, regardless, as long as it doesn't directly hurt them. And you can technically bend anything with words to make it fit a contract that's this vague.
Well, I mean, feel free to edit it. Terms are negotiable.
Oh, God. I essentially just want to still have my free will and ability to say no while agreeing to be your friend and help you with what I can. And if I can't help you, I essentially want to be sure that, like, it's not going to be held against me and no one's going to put me to death. Or you're not going to be...
It doesn't say anything about death in there. I mean, that's fine.
All you have to do is come to me and ask me for help. And I will help you to the best of my abilities. All the time, anytime.
Okay.
If I am free and I know how to help you, I will help you.
Okay.
Sorry, that was your
Just
pen.
know, though.
That was your pen, not mine.
I will give Ruby his happy life. Varel won't suffer anymore. and everyone else. I'm going to save them. Everyone who we've lost. Everyone who we will lose. All I have to do is cause pain to them. Just once. If I have to strike them down for the greater good, then so be it. Because Asmodeus would never lie to me.
Don't know him well. From what I've heard, he has mixed reviews, but as any good merchant would, good boss would.
Nobody knew him.
And that's why I trust your judgment
When
more,
we-
because you do know him better.
When we came to Captain Toby and asked for his assistance on the trial for Asmodeus, do you want to know the reason he didn't help us, even though mine and everyone else's in the winery was on the line?
Why?
Because Asmodeus scammed him out of 300 gold. If you divide that up, that puts Toby's value on my life at 3 gold. Maybe less.
I see.
And people say Asmodeus was evil. When the people of Aether stood up there one after another and condemned us to die. They don't know me. They've never asked. It makes me think that sometimes I should let them suffer. But then I think that those who have lost so much deserve their second chance. But it's hard when they're not here.
Yeah.
Maybe if Toby had come and helped us in that trial, maybe Asmodeus would still be around. Maybe if Crimron hadn't stood on that stage and said that it's Eugene's fault.
He said that?
Maybe if he said I was the main example of why Asmodeus is evil, since the boss is responsible for his employees. What did he say after? Sorry? Because that cuts it. Now Asmodeus is dead. Or missing. So is Calcendus and Nurgle. When that dragon Ender from the Healer's Guild stood up there and said that Asmodeus was siphoning blood from them and condemned us to die because of a contract that they signed. Not one. Well, only one person came to our aid. Only Tempest. Every other denizen of Aether that bothered to show up condemned us to die in a Fey court for no less than tax evasion.
It was.
That's all it took.
You were only on trial for tax evasion?
We were on trial for Asmodeus' crimes,
Yeah.
but the Fae just made them all up. What even is horse mimicry? But do you wanna know what gets me?
Hmm.
After blaming me, 2 of the Redwell Guard members blamed me. They said it's Eugene. He's a problem. He deserves it even. And then when they gave out their judgment that Asmodeus was guilty, they ran up in front of everyone and begged that my life be spared.
After saying that everything was your fault, essentially knowing that you would be sent to death, and then they beg for your life.
Yep. And the face said okay. And I had to watch all of my allies turn to me with faces of disgust. I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
No.
You should get some sleep.
It's okay. You can talk as much as you want.
No one else in the winery wants to destroy the world anymore. They want to live this life to its fullest. With their found family.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby's a lot like Jin. Talks a lot about home and his life before. I thought we were home.
Seeing it from your perspective, that is very painful. That they would no longer want the same vision. And they've abandoned it from your point of view. From their point of view, they've just accepted the cards they were dealt. And maybe they think it's unrealistic. I mean, maybe if you'd all band together, sure, you'd have a better chance. And that's where from your point of view, that hurts that they would do that, because it's just you pushing that now. The only one looking for a better life.
I won't lose. Do you want to know what card I've been dealt? The Fates card.
I thought he was really flipping me off for a second. I was like, what? The Fates card.
At the end of the world, all I have to do is focus on this and say, I win.
You get what you want? Is that the deal?
Everyone gets what they want.
Not just the people that you care about.
No suffering. Asmodeus promised.
I mean, can I pose something to you? Not to object to you, but can I just say something?
Go ahead.
If, for you getting what you want, everyone gets to live their happiest life. They don't suffer. And if you getting what you want means everyone else gets what they want, some people are just malicious. If you
remove pain and suffering only happiness will remain.
There's always going to be
There will
someone
be no malice.
to cause that pain
Not
and
in this
suffering.
world. Not in this world. Lord Asmodeus promised. No pain, no suffering, no sadness. No one's malicious.
So where does all that emotion go?
Peace. It's gone.
Just vanquished, completely absolved.
The rules are rewritten.
It's quite the idea. Quite the utopia to hope for.
Sacrifices have to be made. I have to forego my bonds of this world. I have to strike down my friends. Velo's happy life I might not even be a part of. But they'll get their happy life. Percy gets a chance to live. Jin doesn't die and become a ghoul. Ruby gets to live happily with their parents, like he so craves.
I almost feel like that's assuming that's what people are going to want forever. Because everyone's needs and wants change from day to day.
Isn't that what they want now? If you ask people what they want in life, at the most simplistic level, it's peace of mind. No malice, no sadness, no pain, no anger. Peace of mind is all that's left. Bliss and happiness. Kindness. If you could be any one thing in this world, what would it be?
Well, I mean, you kind of got me there. I've said all I wanted to do was be at peace, essentially, but peace is a different price to everybody.
If I could be anything, I would be kinder. And I wish other people would choose the same.
Oh, you mean like that?
But when I consent to everything that happens to me, it is in the hopes that one day they will choose to be kinder. They never do.
But, so, you say that, and then when you take on the pain, you just told me that people aren't willing to be kind. They're not willing to change. So by you taking all of that on, you're ending the world, you're forcing them to change. What happens to you? You're taking all of that pain and suffering that would exist, that unfortunately, part of me, you can't make everyone happy. But in this idea, the assumption is that you would. But you're taking all of that. Where does that go? Are you going to take that? Are you going to make yourself miserable for eternity in this new world? What?
If that's what it costs, I will pay that price.
But then not everyone's happy. And there's still malice in the
Everyone
world.
but me.
There's still
Everyone but
sad.
me. If
And-
that's what I have to trade for the happiness of countless others, isn't that what being a hero is?
Yes and no. Heroes make a lot of mistakes,
I've
and that's okay. You've never read the story or seen where the hero causes more pain than good? You've told me before that Percy just wanted to be a hero, and you became a villain, hoping that you'd get more time with Percy. They were
himself killed.
exactly. That was maybe not necessarily Percy's fault, but heroes can still cause other people malice and pain and anger, inadvertently or on purpose or by accident. What is good for one person isn't always good for another. That's why villains can do a lot of good too. Sometimes they mess up and cause a favorable outcome, even though what they're doing is seen as bad. It's all perspective.
Well, if it comes to that, I'll reset the world again. And again. And again. And again.
You're gonna destroy
Small
yourself.
change. It's a small price to pay.
Your life is not worth more or less than another person's.
Maybe not one person. You know, they're all worth free gold apparently.
Well, according to Toby, in this instance, but not to me.
But when you stack 2 lives up against mine, 3, 4, billions and billions across countless realms, through every nexus in every home, every life that has been and will be against mine, that doesn't seem like such a poor trade.
I disagree.
If it's not uncommon, you don't fucking accept it.
Respectfully, I disagree. This is where my nastiness comes into play. There are people in this world that mean more, who will make a difference more to me. And not just to me, but in general. And yes, I see what you're saying. It's the whole thing of the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. This has been iterated to me very recently in a very pressing other situation. But it's hard because we're going to do in the end what we see fit anyway. And if I had the choice, I would try to save you.
Watch out, there's still roleplay happening further into the...
It's not the needs of the few. It's just me against everyone.
There's still roleplay happening.
That's why we've found magical workarounds in this life. Maybe your other friends are accepting these things. That there's just workarounds in other ways.
Think about it this way. When I reset the world, you won't even know me. So you won't even mind.
I mean, your spirit remembers. Your imprints, they'll remember. A deja vu. In some way, you're just causing a reincarnation for everyone. Your spirits are still going to remember that. And souls are souls, and that's the only reason I press that it's so hard to remove all that pain and sadness.
Guess we'll see.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't want to discourage you, and please don't take it as me like supporting them and not supporting you. I'm just trying to I'm not trying to convince you, and I'm not trying to push you in another way. You do what your heart tells you to do.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want company at the winery tonight? I know that the hat told me that they'll be there. But if you don't want to be alone, I'd be happy to come there and sit with you.
No, it's fine. Thank you. Besides, I'm not alone.
Is it just me or did his eyes get brighter?
Thanks, Brennon.
Yeah, anytime, Eugene.
Hey, sorry, just passing through here.
No worries.
Sorry, I noticed you were having a heart-to-heart and I didn't want to intrude.
I worry about him. Yeah. Yeah, I worry about Eugene.
Same, though I honestly don't know how to help.
Mm-hmm. Just how I'm helping is
Although,
letting him ask for the help, and if I can do it, I'll do it.
I did have, I was talking to Basil about this, and I guess by proxy as well for them being there, Toby and, Kyle, but I am considering seeing about having a guild meeting seems very formal. Basically, I feel like a lot of us aren't very good at just getting our problems out there, either because we think, like, possibly because we think, oh, they're not big enough to warrant bringing up, we have other shit to worry about, or any number of reasons. And a lot of people are in a lot of bad spots psychologically. We're no exception, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why I'm here and not one of the other two. I want to have a discussion about that, perhaps, with the guilds. Just to say, at least if for no other reason, to say, hey, if you're having a problem, we're here to help. If you, we're not going to force you to talk about it, but know that, like, no problem is too small to discuss.
Yeah. That's more than fair. Like a offer of group therapy, essentially. Sorry, my legs needed to move.
No, that's fair.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, yeah. You mean like just putting it out there, airing it out, letting anyone know, like, it is here for you should you want it.
Yeah, because I feel like, respectfully, us as a guild, we're not very good at, like, dealing with these problems. And I'm, like, I'm not an exception. You yourself saw, it almost killed me.
Yeah.
Like,
Fair.
it almost killed me. And so, kind of part of why I'm wanting to have this conversation is I know better than anyone, you just don't let this shit fester.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people got deeper things going on.
Yeah, like Eugene's not doing great. Like Ruby's got their thing with the family. I still don't know what's going on with Nathan.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like people just aren't
Blake,
opening
stop it
up. Which, if this is meant to be
Blake.
sort of like a family type situation, I feel like, and bearing in mind I've never had a family, so I'm not an expert on the field. Surely this is the part where we all come together and just talk it out. Or at least make the offer to talk it out. And if I have to lead that discussion, I'm happy to do so, even though, I mean, between you and me, I shouldn't even be here. I should be in a care facility in Yormong, like, full time. But my stupid ass just cannot reconcile getting rest and not helping people.
Yeah. Okay. The only problem I see with this is, I mean, I don't even either way, okay, so my shoulder is correct. I think it would be constructive. I feel like more people than we want won't be open to it because they're gonna be like, they're my personal problems. It's not. If it was problems we were all having with each other, I think it would work better. We can still certainly offer it. I'm not shooting your idea down. Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's not like I'm gonna come out here with a bucket and a rag and start waterboarding trauma out of people or anything like that. Like,
Yeah, we can't do that. I've already been told no
you
waterboarding.
know. So, like, if they don't want to share, that's their prerogative.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth having the discussion, just if only to let people know, you have a support network.
Here's group
Use
therapy.
it if you want.
Yeah.
Use it if you want. Have the support network, but just know that, like, it's no problem is too small. Like, even just
Yeah.
knowing that might help, even if they don't take advantage of it.
Fair.
Just knowing it's there might be enough.
Fair enough. I mean, we some of the captains headed out to a meeting earlier with Arcades, and I know there's going to be like a little, I don't know at what point tomorrow, because it already sounds like there's so much going to go on tomorrow. But I can bring it up. I can put it out there while we're all collected and let them know that. Because I think it's a good idea.
I was tentatively going to bring it up to Calbana next time I saw them, but yeah, maybe you bringing it up to the captains might be the more, like, efficient route, so to speak.
Well, I mean,
again, like, if
we are here to lighten the
if someone
load
has
on
to-
them.
Yeah, and if someone has to lead the discussion, so to speak, like, if someone has to, like, direct this, I'm willing to do that. Again, in theory, I shouldn't, but, like, I'm setting up this is my idea. It's my horse to race, I guess. And I'm happy to do so.
It's very valiant.
Honestly, it gives me something constructive to do. Because evidently the two came out earlier today, and we're all for, like, all of 30 minutes, and then we're gone again. So clearly they're not really up to just extend to the activity just yet. So you get me.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I think that's fine. Well, here's a thing to pose to you, though. If your other two are in hiding and you take on too much, which is what their problem was, will you go in hiding?
Yeah, there's
Will you get a fourth one?
I should hope not. But the odds are low, but not zero.
So we should lighten the load
honestly,
on you. We should be taking care of you so you can care for the other two.
The thing that sucks is that there is a thing with the Healer's Guild that I can't elaborate on because it's need-to-know information, but the short version is something is going to happen in a few days, and if it goes particularly badly, I might end up in charge of the Healer's Guild as, like, one of the few, like, senior members that are available to do that.
I see.
That's not gonna help. That's really not gonna help if I suddenly have to take a desk job as a fucking guild leader.
Well, I mean, here, alternatively, it could be good, because if you think about it, you will have a guild, a set guild. Yes, you are a part of everything else that you are doing, but you have priority to one guild, one objective. You have to dedicate yourself to that. It makes it easier for you. Like, if we have to go fuck off into Richterland and you are in charge of the Healers Guild, yes, you are a seeker in the end. Yes, you've been involved with it, and you might want to help. But in the end, you have that guild to think about. You are their backbone. You can say no and won't be at fault.
Yeah, strictly speaking, and honestly, I've been meaning to bring this up to the other healers. Technically, the Healers Guild is a neutral party that's not supposed to take sides in geopolitical conflicts. So, in the event that I ended up in charge of the whole fucking thing, I actually couldn't help you with with the Seeker's War on Richterland because that would be
Correct.
me, the head of a guild, meant to be neutral, taking a side, which is
Correct.
not good.
That is why I resigned,
I mean,
because I couldn't do that.
yeah, it's God. I hope it doesn't come to that. And again, I can't even, for what it's worth, I never talked to you about this. I'm not giving you details, but I still never talked to you about this. But I really hope it doesn't come to that because I have very carefully and tactically avoided bureaucracy. Because, like, it's,
Hmm.
it's why I'm happy that no one's ever said, like, hey, do you want to be in charge of this part of the guild? Or, hey, do you want to be a seeker captain? Like,
Yeah.
no, because that's red tape that's keeping me from my work.
Yeah. Well, I think in one essence, yes, it's restrictive. In another essence, I think it could be very healing. No, pardon me, no pun intended.
You think taking up it'd be really weird for an anarchist to take a position of power in an organization, but I see your point that maybe it gives me something to focus on.
Listen. I gonna. I didn't think I was worth anything. I didn't think I should be in any form of capability or spot of power in where I lead other people. And Arcades asked me to, and I said yes. I didn't necessarily say yes to just make him happy. But I did say if you think I should. And he made me feel valid, and so did Nathan, because Nathan was across the way agreeing with him. And that's why I took it. And it has healed me to an extent as a person by taking a role of power that I never thought I should have. So, it
I suppose that's fair.
can be constructive. A bit. So, I'm not saying it fixes everything, but it can be good.
It's something to consider. But again,
Yeah.
realistically speaking, at least with the Healers Guild, this only happens if things happen to take an unfortunate turn in the coming days.
Yeah.
And mercifully, no one has actually so far asked me to be in charge of anything.
Mm. Well,
I guess to my own credit, I guess I'm just too good at my job where I am right this second that maybe people don't want to promote me.
I mean, you are versatile by not being constrained. It's the best way. Yeah. Sometimes constraints are limiting. Sometimes jobs are limiting in what we can do. When I was signed up to the Healers Guild, that job was limiting me in this job, and this job meant more to me, so I'm still a healer who will heal anyone for anything, but
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it depends on like your perspective. Honestly, this is all like if for whatever reason anyone that I'm currently employed to seems fit to promote me, I will consider what you said, but I don't necessarily see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, if the opportunity arises and it feels right for you, don't let them pressure you into taking it. Do what is best for you in the end. And if not taking a position of authority and red tape is what that means, then yeah.
I just feel like it'd be like really like I don't know. At some point, it just feels weird, because I've spent all this time talking up a game about how we don't need a central leader and like people above us in positions of. So it feels like I'd be a bit of a hypocrite if I then turn around and went, "Oh, I'm in charge of this whole guild now."
Fair.
That's ostensibly be putting myself above other people, and I'm not. I'm
all do
no one
group
special.
therapy. I will sit you all fuckers down. I actually like this idea. Well, if we have group therapy, maybe this is something the group could put their consensus in on.
You know, that is fair. I guess the whole point of that proposal is to get a lot of these thoughts out in the open
Yeah,
and, get support for it. So, yeah.
air it out.
I guess there's a benefit for me. Yeah. So, yeah, you can bring that up to the captains, and
Mhm.
I'm happy to take point on that if necessary.
Yeah.
Just, I guess, if only because I'm the one who brought it up.
Yeah, I will.
but yeah,
I
that's-
will credit you that it is your idea because that's what's right to do. And if people want to proceed with it, then let's proceed. I just, I just don't want people to sit down because they feel obligated, or if they sit down, they're not going to take it. Like, hi, I'm Brennan. I've been sad for 270 years. Like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess part of why I guess a benefit of me taking point is that I can just
318
I
minus
guess,
270.
like, it's easier if someone else does it first, I guess, because then it's like, okay, like,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm gonna get out there and then everyone's gonna look at me like I'm weird. Like, if I come out here and just say, "Hey, what's up? It's me."
Yeah.
I have a couple names.
Hey,
Pick whichever
Ghost,
one
it's
you
me,
like.
Gibble.
Anyway, yeah, I was suicidally depressed for a long time, and I'm trying to get better. So let's talk about that. And
Yeah.
hey, maybe that gets people to open up on their own problems because they see someone else willing to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I thought about killing myself multiple times, so I think that's a good segue into the conversation. So
yeah, a great segue. Hey guys, what's up? I almost killed myself the other day. Didn't fail.
Sorry, this is
technically,
getting kind of
but now I'm here and we're gonna get better
whoa.
together. What a segue. Anyway, before this gets too much more depressing,
Yeah.
let's save some of that for the group therapy, I guess.
Yeah. It's okay. Don't you know that depressing is my middle name? It's actually not. My middle name is atrocious.
I don't think I have a middle name.
I barely tell I barely tell people my last name. My last name is used for official purposes only. Fucked I'd be if I tell people my middle name too. They wouldn't I don't even know it. Hardly understand. It's just
If it's any consolation, I technically don't have a name yet, like a first name.
Oh, you didn't assign one yet to yourself?
There's a few in the workshop, but I haven't decided on anything concrete. It also feels weird because technically, like, I think there is a benefit to trying to blur the line between the three of us so that, like, we can heal collectively as a whole.
Uh-huh.
And I wonder if maybe giving myself a name is a little counterproductive to that point. But ultimately, people will want to refer to me as something, and if they don't want to go with Beryl, I guess having something to distinguish me from Beryl and Ixel is useful.
I guess. I mean, what if it might be a little bit I don't want to say I don't know, but it might. On one hand, it's not necessarily like great, but on the other hand, it kind of would still blur the line if, like, okay, so we have Beryl, Ixel. What if you give yourself numbers, like you're number 3, and then if someone else comes along, they're number 4. That way, it's like you're still assigning a separation, but you're not taking on that full name. Like, you are unassigned, even though you're given a number. You're not separate per se.
That's an idea. It's one of those things where, like, there's essentially, like, there's any number of ways you can fix this. There's a bit of a reductive statement, but the two immediate thoughts is, either blurring the lines and trying to come together and heal as a whole, or just learning to work with all the disparate parts
I think
as their own, like, individuals and just make peace with that.
Yeah.
And realistically, no solution here is wrong. It will vary depending on who you're talking to.
Oh, I have an idea. I know you said you journal, as all of you. I know you all journal. Do you write each other letters? Like, hey, this is what we accomplished today. Like, I feel like that could be...
Yeah, we try to keep notes in this journal here. It's separate from the usual one to just... So because some of us don't remember each other's memories. It's getting a little better now,
I remember
but
you
it's
saying
still
this.
fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we write notes, we write like logs in the journal, and you will actually see, interestingly enough, like various entries that are like separated by like line breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And like, despite this being written ostensibly by the same person, you can immediately tell 3 different personalities because all 3 have slightly different handwriting. Like Ixel's is more flowery. This one's is like more like just like blocky and like straightforward. Veryl's is more like scratchy and organic.
Mm-hmm. But do you write objectively? What do you? I feel like objectively would be like, we did this, we did that, like not including names, not necessarily going, but like, do you ever write with empathy towards yourself? Like,
That's an excellent question. I guess like there's like obviously like the different aspects of us bleed into every entry, but if you're asking if we address each other as like individuals rather than
yeah,
just catching each other up on what happened.
yeah.
No.
What?
Shit, I meant to talk to Tempest today and about that. Damn it.
Well, what if you start writing like kind, supportive things, like write not objective, but write empathetically to your other selves. Start bringing things together, being like, write like letters to yourself, because that's what it is. But still, like you're talking to someone else. But and then as it gets better, they start just being like personalized letters to yourself. Like you, instead of we, slowly all 3 of you become you. Like you, like, dear Ixel, da 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 da, about you, wonderful. Dear Vera, wonderful about you, da da da. Or like if you're writing, we did this, we did wonderful. That's collecting yourselves, and then eventually the idea would be that it would lead to the point as you as a singular being, even though all 3 of you are still here, but it would emphasize to each other that you are whole, you are one, you make up this being.
That's not a bad idea, actually. To be honest, I had meant to talk to Tempest to have him take another look in my head to see what's going on specifically, and potentially see if he can't find a way to get us to communicate more directly, but unfortunately didn't see him once the entire day.
Yeah, well, he was at the meeting that we had to attend, but when
okay, so he was engaged.
He was very busy, from my understanding.
All right, I'll just have to get him another time then.
Yeah.
But the journal idea is a thought.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
Write empathetic
Honestly,
and compassionate letters to yourselves.
Yeah, I might have to rebroach the subject of that one mission I had suggested because I don't know. I feel like going back to the old Crossguard Island and just settling matters there might help a little bit.
It could tie an end. Yeah.
I'm not saying we're gonna go there. We're gonna beat up the Crossguards. I'm gonna get my armor back, and then it's just that's it. We're all one person now. The depression's gone. I just have a big smile on my face for the rest. No, it's
but
not.
It
no,
would,
shit doesn't work like that.
It would close a door for Ixel, and also probably help repair part of Veryl, because they're ultimately who exiled Ixel and created Veryl, right?
Yes, Ixel was the one who came first, and then the Crossguards more or less inflicted ego death upon us, and then Veryl is what came out of that eventually.
Yeah. So I think it would benefit to do that. Like up here.
It's just a matter of like organizing it because, obviously there's and okay, I'm I, specifically, setting the other two aside for a moment, I am not going to fall into the trap of my problems are too small. But
Mm-hmm.
when there's like wars and Daedra invasions happening, telling other people, getting other people to come on board with like, hey, by the way, come with me to a necromancer's
Yeah.
island to solve a personal matter is going to be a bit of a hard sell.
It could be. Alternatively, it could actually be interesting to some people. It could be like a God, all of the. So you bring it to the perspective of this is one thing, but all of this stuff is happening. Someone else might be like, oh my God, all of this stuff is happening. I don't want to. Oh, look at this. This is a small issue that is actually dealable. Like, you know.
I guess with the like seemingly inexhaustible wave of Daedra and the moral, political nuance of a geopolitical conflict with Richterland,
Uh-huh.
a very straight-laced, cut and dry, here's a bunch of evil necromancers and a lich, go deal with them,
Yep.
is probably on some level refreshing, because there is no like unstoppable force or deep nuance. It's like bring enough light, bring enough power, and you will get the job done.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, Macbeth has expressed interest as a lich to come along and deal with the other lich.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, it's an island full of undead wizards, so
Mhm.
they have a vault of just magic crap that they've been sitting on. And
That's
I've
spicy.
told people that if you help me put this to rest and let me get my breastplate back, the rest of the vault of magic shit is yours as payment for the job.
Fair.
Just help yourself.
I'm sure people would love that. Listen, I will send you whatever aid I can. You know, I love, terrible necromancers. My current priority is ridding this world of a terrible necromancer. So, and with how badly they hurt you, if let's wait. Where's their phylactery? We'll just get rid of it right now.
So, I did specify to people, like, obviously the people who are still alive and the Lich in charge, Victus, I don't necessarily want killed, but for the people who do want violence and carnage, there is also a sea of mindless homunculi undead that are just,
Just
not
there.
people and just bones and flesh that are being
Yeah.
puppeted by magic. Call those to your heart's content.
Yeah, and honestly, they're
Macbeth-
not hard to take care of. That's just slash
Macbeth
and
apparently
dash.
Macbeth has a pit in their kingdom where they just keep souls and other things for, I don't know, whatever a somewhat good aligned lich would do with things like that. He
Mhm.
has told me if he comes along, we get the phylactery, we destroy Victus's physical body, and then the phylactery just into the hole, into the pit. And I think that's a
Yeah.
much more fitting punishment than simply smashing the thing.
True, but then when Victus reforms, Macbeth is just gonna have to keep smashing him into the ground like a little bitch.
I would have to ask Macbeth about that, because ultimately he'd be taking on the burden. I'd be like, hey, is this something you'd even want to do? He seemed open to the idea, because apparently he has several things he can do with a lich's soul, which is...
Whoa, yeah. Whoa.
Disconcerting.
One lich with another lich's soul, let me tell you. Whoo! Macbeth could ultimately just consume that phylactery. You take out the lich physically and prevent them from spawning, and then you have their phylactery in your hand. They are your bitch. Macbeth could consume them, and probably the power he would get from that could be unfathomable. It's just what he would want to do with it in the end.
Yeah, and I've said that like not killing the actual necromancers and Victus is a request, not a requirement. Ultimately, I care more about their lives and the lives of the villagers that are being treated like cattle on that island.
Mm-hmm.
So if things happen, things happen.
Yeah, well, I mean...
I can make a request, but ultimately what happens in the heat of battle happens, I suppose.
Well, also, in where I come from, another way to become a lich is to, You take their physical form away from them, and you get their phylactery, and you try to basically overpower them. And whoever is successful, if you can't beat the lich that's already there, you just get eaten for food and they come back faster. But if you can beat them, you become a lich. That's another thing.
Interesting. I'm not terribly keen on becoming a lich, respectfully.
You have to
but
like
that's an idea.
soul battle with each other in the phylactery and try to see who can consume who. But
And unfortunately, Victus knows my soul better than most.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, if there's a way to get rid of Victus and then save everyone, like ultimately removing him from power would free up everyone else and prevent the villagers from further harm.
Yeah. Yes, because even if the rest of the family is still fucked up and wants to do bad things, Victus is a vain, egotistical man who has built this entire dynasty, patriarchy, whatever you want to call it, this family legacy around
Ew.
himself.
Patriarchy.
You pluck that away, and the whole thing will come crumbling down, regardless of who's still alive at the end of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's equally likely that these people will tear each other apart to try and take his place.
You could use that to your advantage if they all just destroy each other, and then the last one standing, someone just goes in and freaking nicks them, then everyone's free. I mean, ultimately, assuming, someone would inevitably take their place, but you could try to set up and ensure that it's someone better who won't cause the people suffering, and, Or ultimately, if Macbeth just takes them all out, then he can just assume that kingdom is part of his. He could just.
I mean, he could absolutely assimilate the remaining, necromancers and undead forces just into his kingdom.
Yeah.
Which is honestly fine by me, as long as they're not terrorizing, Bloodvale Isle anymore. He can do whatever the fuck he wants with them.
Yeah.
That is another issue that will have to get fixed, admittedly over the course of decades or centuries, is the ley lines of the land itself, of the Isle, are corrupted by corruption and death. That's going to take a lot more time to fix, but step one to that is getting rid of the people who are doing that in the first place.
What race
that is
are
step
they?
one. Then we can worry about. What were they? What was? So I knew them as Aquans back when I was, I don't know if you remember when I was the small shark creature.
Yes, when I first came to Aether. Yeah.
So I saw them all as that.
Okay.
What they actually are, and I can't remember the name for this people specifically off memory, humanoids with a water elemental lineage.
Oh.
Similar to how you have Ifriti, who are humans with...
Genasi.
Genasi,
Well, because there's water...
Undine, that's what they're called.
Undine? I've never heard that term.
Called Undine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, you got, Ifriti, who are, humans with fire elemental lineage.
Yeah.
So, Undine are humanoids with water elemental
specific.
lineage. So, yeah, so a lot of them are aquatic-looking humanoids. Victus himself, now that my memories aren't corrupted, is just a big skeleton. He's exactly what you picture in your mind, the quintessential lich, and that is Victus.
Ah, okay. Big bone man, yeah. When they
Big bone man, obsessed with himself, amoral in everything he does.
When they lose
the man who
their
did
flesh.
the experiments.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, Victus happens to head research as well, so he was on the ground floor, as it were, when everything happened to me.
And we love that.
Yes, it's one of those things where, in theory, I should want vengeance on him for what he did, but it's just, I don't care. I want him stopped because he's a monster that's hurting people. killing him isn't going to undo everything I've had to endure for the last, 70 years.
Yeah.
But it is ultimately to close a chapter on that particular, close the book on that chapter of my life.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that would be healing. It'd be beneficial.
Yes, and honestly, it's just as well they have a vault of magic items. I wouldn't feel right asking people to risk their lives against necromancers who would kill them and then puppet their flesh, if they're lucky, without due compensation.
Yeah. That's fair.
Like, getting killed and having your body raised as an undead servant is like the good outcome if things go bad. That is if you are very lucky.
Yeah. Sounds like it with those people.
Ultimately, when we do this mission, I will have to figure out a peel out for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not to sound cowardly, but to put it in very simple terms, I cannot go through that again.
Fair. Yeah. And I think if you just phrase it to the people that you're asking to do this for you, that was very traumatic for you, so if it saves you further trauma in effort to heal, I think they should understand.
Like, I'm still gonna be there and help,
Yeah.
because it's important that I do this, but
Yeah,
ultimately, like, I can't go back to that fucking lab.
no. Listen, I don't think any of them would let you. If you take anyone from this island, this collective, we're not on the island, but like our community of Redwall, Aether, etc. I think if you take anyone, no one would let you fall back into that.
Anyway, I feel like I've yapped well and truly long enough at this point.
It's okay. I'm sorry, I'm not yawning, like, on purpose.
No, you're fine. It is late, and I have been yapping a little bit.
I am nearly at, I got one at 0 o'clock, and then, yeah, we're nearly there.
So I guess it's about time to call it for the night.
Yep.
I need to head to a care facility and think about. Oh god, I gotta fix a Daedric arm corruption tomorrow in a ritual, and then I have to fucking coordinate with the Healers Guild. Oh, this is fine. Okay,
Oh.
this is fine. I can manage.
Okay.
I can manage this, even though I shouldn't.
Okay.
Me and my stupid ass.
Oh. Well, just find time to take care of yourself, That's...
I'm trying.
Too much on your plate with other people is what we got for getting you. So take care of yourself so you don't end up with Vixel. See, we're combining each other. Feral and Ixel.
Basically, so I don't split a fourth time, and then we have to deal with whoever the fuck that ends up being. Yeah,
because with you just have to keep in mind that sometimes, there will be an ugly side that might show itself at some point. So
yeah, that would be unpleasant. So let's see if we can avoid that, if at all possible.
Yeah. Oh, I hope. Do you think? Okay, I'm sorry. This might be like something terrible to ask of you to assess. Do you think this hallway smells like dead body?
Well, I mean, it smells like embalming fluid, but not a corpse.
Okay, that's good to know. Cause I had a dead body in my room for 2 days. While I did preserve it, it still stank like dead body. I aired it out earlier, but you probably, of all people that I can ask, would know best if it still stinks like dead body. So Toby never told me.
I mean, yeah, no, like the smell of decay is definitely there, but like the embalming fluid isn't better, but it is masking it.
Okay. Yeah, he was treated, and magically, physically, etc. But he's out of here now, so he's in a special place. So thanks.
I just do be careful with embalming fluid because while you and I are used to the smell, anyone else, and that would be vomit-inducing.
Yeah, formaldehyde isn't the greatest to smell, nor is that
No, I just
fluid embalming. It's pink.
I just lived with it for 70 years, so I'm
Pink
just
and
used to it.
thick. Yeah.
Oh, I have to warn people about that as well, that the fucking aisle is gonna reek of embalming fluid.
Ugh.
Okay.
I feel like okay, anyone who accepts a job with an island full of undead or necromancers, they should have the automatic assumption that they need to plug their nose, that it's gonna reek. And if they're not used to the smell of death, decay, and corpses, and they accept this mission and then they throw up, that's on them. They should know. Like, come on. Like when we like looked over Velo that time to heal them, and then the others didn't expect it to smell like corpse when we opened them. Like, what did you expect?
I mean, yeah, Velo's an undead. When you crack them open for surgery, they're going to smell
Yeah.
like a corpse because that is ostensibly what they are.
Yeah, even cracking open living beings smells atrocious because you're just a bag of guts.
Yeah.
It stinks.
It's not pleasant.
No.
Again, like I feel like chemomancy gives me an edge in that regard because I'm just so used to the scent of
Yeah.
viscera.
Yeah. Anywho, and they say healers are weak. We hold back from vomiting in your wounds every day. Listen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I did technically survive injuries that would kill most other people, like the other day, so I guess I have something to say about strength.
Yeah. Endurance. But
well, I need to get to this care facility.
yes,
and
you do
hopefully
that.
not fall into hibernation.
Well, I mean, yeah.
If only because I have shit to do in the coming days, and it would be inconvenient for everyone if I just lost consciousness for several months.
That is true. Holy fuck. Do you see that time? I mean, I work a night shift job, so being up at this time is not abnormal to me. So, like, I literally work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So, all you people that say you RP too long, this is normal for me.
Imagine talking to your wrist.
Fuck you.